and WCBS-FM HD2, New York.
Michael K. is on the radio today, and he ain't afraid to say what he's thinking. It's the Michael K. Show on 880 ESPN Radio.
And a good afternoon, everybody. This is indeed the Michael K. Show. We thank you for joining us on this Monday. It is April 13th, 2026. Me and you for two. Those are the rules of engagement. It's the fastest 2 hours in sports talk radio. So let's get rolling. You know what the password is to be a co-host, right? 1-800-919-3776. A lot of people want to talk today, I'm sure. But if you came here on this day, April 13th, to expect me to put lipstick on a pig, not going to do it. Not going to do it. Because the weekends for the Mets and for the Yankees were simply unacceptable. They played poorly, they didn't hit, and they lost all three games. Both teams have lost 5 in a row. The Yankees start a 4-game series against the Angels at the stadium tonight, and the Mets start a 3-game series against the Dodgers, the two-time world champion Los Angeles Dodgers, tonight in L.A., Uniglow Field at Dodger Stadium. So let's start with the Yankees, if we must. What the Rays did in this 3-game set is they played perfect little ball. They made all the right moves. They out-athleticked the Yankees. The Yankees had no answer whatsoever for Chandler Simpson, who is the fastest man in baseball. They couldn't stop him. They could not stop him. He impacted each game in which he played. And on Saturday, didn't even enter the game until the 8th inning and was a huge factor in the Rays winning that game in extra innings. The Rays laid down 6 bunts in the series. 6. 5 of them successful. Yankees did not get outs on 5 of the 6 sacrifice bunts for the most part that were laid down. And the defensive positioning was very, very odd. On 2 of them, they had nobody covering first base. And I know that the knee-jerk reaction is to blame Jazz Chisholm for not covering second base. That's not his fault. Charging at the corners, and you have Jazz Chisholm playing close to second base. There's no way, not even Chandler Simpson, could get to first base in time to cover on the fielded bunt. So the positioning on Jazz had him out. You can say, well, the pitcher has to cover. Well, maybe, but the pitcher's also thinking, I've got to field the bunt too. So there was nobody covering first base. The Tampa Bay Rays executed perfectly throughout the series. They don't have the potential offensive firepower that the Yankees have. Not even close. But what they do have, they made work beautifully. They made it work absolutely beautifully. Now, let me give you some problems with the Yankees that you could be a little bit concerned about. Now, I am not somebody, because I know there are a lot of people out there that are giving up after 15 games. Silly. That's not even a 10th of the season. And things do turn around. And by the way, the Yankees are 8-7 after losing 5 straight games. The Yankees right now are 25th in OPS in baseball. And the biggest culprit is the bottom third of the order. They are 29th in baseball in terms of production. Yesterday's game, 7, 8, 9 in the starting lineup, right? We're hitting 0, 097, and 156. In the series, the bottom of the order was 5 for 36. On the season, the bottom of the order is 21 for 156. That's 155. Now, we can all say it's early, and it is. But also let's look at trends. Ryan McMahon has one of the lowest batting averages in baseball over the last couple of years. So I know that they rejiggered his stance and they moved his feet closer together, but are we sure that he's going to hit? Austin Wells, who did hit a home run over the weekend, his first home run, first RBI, did not have a good year offensively last year. He did hit over 20 home runs, but his offense is nowhere near productivity in terms of his defense. His defense is extraordinarily good. So that's two problems right there. Caballero had a big day on Saturday, right? But yesterday he was 0 for 3. And on the season, he's 7 for 55. Ryan McMahon was 1 for 4 yesterday, and he's 4 for 35. All 4 singles. They played J.C. Escarra yesterday. Escarra 0 for 2. Before he was pinch hit by Wells in the 7th, J.C. is 0 for 11 on the season. Randall Grichuk started for the Yanks. He was 0 for 2 before he got pinch hit for by Stanton in the 7th. He is now 0 for 12 on the season. Jazz Chisholm batted 5th. He was 1 for 4, and he had a double in the second inning, so he's 10 for 56. That's what the Yankees are rolling out there, 5 through 9. Now, once the beginning of the game, then you go back up top, so you could go 5 through 1. Trent Grisham last night, or yesterday, was 0 for 4. So he is 6 for 45, has yet to hit a home run. Now, he's getting on base, so let's not jump him all that much yet. He is getting on base. His on-base percentage coming into yesterday was .352, but his slugging, .220. Yankees didn't get him to get on base 34% of the time. They gave him that qualifying offer because they were seduced by the 34 home runs. Again, early, but not pretty. Ben Rice has been great for them. Great. 2 for 4 yesterday. His on-base percentage is .500. He has 4 home runs and 12 ribbies. Aaron Judge was 1 for 3 yesterday. His 4th home run, a 2-run shot in the 9th inning as the Yankees made a late try to get back in the game. He's not where he wants to be, but he has 4 home runs and 9 runs batted in. Bellinger was 1 for 4. And although he's not clicking the way he wants, certainly getting on base, doing the job defensively. But the Yankees had a chance in the 9th inning, everybody. They, with 2 outs, Ahmed Rosario hit one over the head of Cedric Mullins in center for a 2-out double. So that's a tying run at second base. They throw one pitch to Wells that's out of the strike zone, and then Kevin Cash goes, I'm going to walk him. So they walk him intentionally to face Ryan McMahon. The only guy on the bench for the Yankees at that point is Paul Goldschmidt. McMahon jumps on the first pitch. He's expecting a fastball, gets a changeup, pounds it into the ground to Aranda at first base, and the Yankees ignominiously get swept by the Tampa Bay Rays. Again, I am not here to put lipstick on a pig for either team. Horrendous weekend for both teams. And this comes on the heels of the Yankees losing the last 2 of the 3-game set against the Athletics. So 5 losses in a row. They go from 8-2, playing 800 ball, to 8-7. Now the 8-2 start, though, does do them well because they still sit atop the American League East. Nobody's playing well. Toronto keeps getting banged up. Springer's on the IL. Kirk's on the IL. Scherzer's getting banged up every time he pitches, and 4 of the 5 projected starting pitchers are on the IL. So I don't know what's going on with them. The Red Sox are getting a little bit better pitching than they were last week, so they've got to feel a little bit better about things. But all in all, the American League East right now is struggling. And the Yankees didn't do themselves any favor, so now they start a 7-game homestand. It'll be 4 games against the Angels, 3 games against the Royals, and then they go on one of their longest road trips of the year. 3 in Boston, 3 in Texas, 3 or Arlington, Texas, and then 3 against the Astros in Houston. Here's one thing that's very, very clear. when everybody talks about, well, yeah, but Judge doesn't hit in the postseason the way he does in the regular season. Well, here's the deal. You see what happens when Judge doesn't clean up on aisle 5. So Judge is not off to his great start that he usually has. He's not been terrible, but certainly not been Judge. And he's the great eraser. He's the great deodorant. So when Judge is being Judge, it covers up the other things. So he's not being judged yet over 15 games. And so the other things are not being deodorized. They're not being covered up. And you noticed in a big way how bad the bottom of the order is. And has to be better. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room. And that's the Jazz Chisholm comment post-game after he bobbled the ball that could have been an inning-ending double play. That could have forced, an 11th inning. It was Yankees played Bellinger in the infield, so they have 5 people in the infield, and Chandler Simpson's at third. So they know they're not getting Simpson, even if the infield is in, which it was. They just don't. If you hesitate for a moment, you're not getting Simpson. He's clocked it in this series. He was clocked at 3.9 seconds to first base. He's blindingly fast. He's the fastest ball player in baseball. And the Yankees had no answer for him at all weekend. So Jazz gets the ball on a chopper. Wasn't an easy play. Yandy Diaz is running right near him. If he fields it cleanly, there's a chance he could tag Diaz, fire to first, inning-ending double play. You'd have to worry about Simpson at third. Well, then Jazz is asking the media. He's dressing in the visiting clubhouse next to Grisham. He said, well, what if I had made the throw to first, and then we got the double play at second? The first baseman throws to second. Does the run still score? My son is 11 years old, and he knows that rule. Of course the run still scores. Because the run at the out at second has to be tagged once you get the out at first, and there's no way that Simpson would not have crossed the plate before that out was made. And Grisham had to correct him or had to inform him. And then because Aaron Boone is a guy that the players love and always protects his guys, said, hey, Jazz isn't stupid. I think with everybody around him, he didn't know the rule, which to me is unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And reading social media after the game, you're going to blame Aaron Boone on that. If you don't know a rule that you should know when, I don't know, you're 10 or 11 playing in the Little League, then it's not up for the manager of a major league team to teach you such an obvious rule. Now, Boone defended him and said he knows the rule, he's not dumb, and he's not a dumb guy. He's actually a delightful guy to talk to, but that's a bad look. So every little thing that could go wrong for the Yankees absolutely went wrong in St. Petersburg. And we'll see how they respond. Angels are not playing terrible baseball. They are not. But that's a team that the Yankees should beat. It just is. But that was an awful, awful weekend. And I love some of the people on social media. Oh, I can't wait to listen to the show to see how you spin this. Well, then you don't listen to the show, do you? You're a clown is what you are. All I do on this show is tell the truth. And if you think that I would insult my listeners and try to put lipstick on a pig for what happened in the weekend, then don't listen to the show. If you're tuning into this show expecting me to somehow spin that, all things being equal, it wasn't a bad weekend. It was a terrible weekend. A terrible weekend. Now, am I going to sit here and go, well, that's it? The season's over? No. If you think that, then you don't know baseball. I've told you this a million times. It's not a microwave sport. It's a crock pot sport. It takes a long time to brew. 8-7, you'd want to be better because you were 8-2 at one point, but all it did was just highlight some of the things that they have to work on. McMahon has to be a better hitter than this. He just has to be. Jazz has to have his head in the game a little bit more. J.C. Escara has to hit. These are all things that have to happen. Just because they haven't happened in the first 15 games doesn't mean that they're not going to happen. And there are pivots that the Yankees could have. Because people They react quickly. They want things done yesterday. Now you want to release Grichuk. Hey, if he continues to struggle, maybe they will. Because putting pressure on is Jason Dominguez, which is what he should be doing. He's playing great at AAA. But still, the problem with Jason, he's still not hitting right-handed the way he hits left-handed. And the reason that Grichuk is on the team is because he's a right-handed hitter who actually hits against lefties in his career very well. So even if they release Grichuk, and I don't think that's happening anytime soon, what exactly are you going to do? You're not bringing up you're not bringing up Jason because he doesn't fit. Why would you bring up a 23-year-old and sit him on the bench? And the only time that you could actually legitimately play him is that you would sit down Grisham against lefties, and then are you getting a top-flight player in Jason Dominguez against a left-handed pitcher when he's hitting right-handed? That's the thing he has to show when he's in the minors. We all know he can hit from the left side, and he has had some damage from the right side early, but we'll see. 1-800-919-3776. Let's see what you're thinking. Let's start it off with Eric in Bayville. Eric, you're first. What do you got, babe?
Hey, Mike. Love the show.
Thanks, man.
Listen, so we had a little contentious argument about a week ago, and I had brought up Trent Grisham's numbers to you. Mm-hmm. And you sat there and you hung up on me after 8 seconds saying, I don't know baseball. So I was just asking if you want to revise your statement because you were screaming about me about the power numbers.
Eric, why would I revise my statement after 15 games?
You were telling me I didn't know baseball because where's the power numbers?
It's 15 games. If at the All-Star break he's got 10 home runs, then you've got a legitimate point. You were making that judgment, Eric, and I'll continue to say you don't know baseball after 7 games.
And
now you're going to hang on the rim after 15 games?
September, 1 home run. Playoffs, 0 home runs.
34 on the season.
Yeah, 34 in the season. 0 in August, 0 in September. Fell off a cliff in the playoffs.
He did not have 0 home runs in August.
In the leadoff spot.
He did not have 0 home runs in August.
What's his OPS, Mike? What's his average? He's our table setter.
Yeah, but he's on base. He's on base 35% of the time.
For a guy that's been in the business for 40
Eric,
years,
what do you want them to do? Answer me this. Who do you want in there?
And Gittrick? He's a really good career hitter against lefties. Gittrick should be bagging groceries at Ralph's.
Well, see, now you're being silly. Could you do what Grichuk does? So don't say he should be bagging groceries at Ralph's to be cute. But what's your answer?
Can I go 0 for 13 in the Major League? Yes.
Eric, what's your
answer? I can go 0 for 14 in the Major League. Yes, I can do that.
What's your answer for Grisham? What's your answer, my friend?
Well, if we didn't give him 22, he got a $17 million pay increase from 5. He's been
you're not going to get somebody to fight you on that.
Career.
I thought they made a mistake offering him the qualifying offer. I thought they made a mistake.
They benched Trent Grisham against a right-handed pitcher this year. Wake up, Mike.
So what are you trying to say? You're telling me to wake up. What are you trying to say?
Because you're telling me I don't know baseball. Trent Grisham is awful.
You're giving up on a guy who hit 34. You don't know baseball. And also, you're trying to scream on top of me. It's the Michael Kay Show. You're just a co-host. See, I just hung up on you. See how easily that works? If you're going to shout over me, we're not going to have a discussion. And if we're not going to have a discussion, I'm not going to entertain it. You don't know baseball. So you're giving up on Trent Grisham after 15 games. Now, if you've listened to the show a lot, Eric, you know that when they offered him the $22 million qualifying offer, I was dead set against it. Because I said, Trent's a smart guy. He has smart representation. He's going to take it. So they gave a guy a $17 million deal, $17 million raise on 1 year. If you look at his other numbers, he's a 200 hitter. So you're not going to fight me on that, but I'm also not going to say, well, now you just bag it. So when I said you don't know baseball, and I'll double down on that again, you called me after 8 games. 8 games, you had already made your mind up. Now you're going to hang on the rim because it's after 15 games. Again, I'll say, you don't know baseball. If you give up a guy after, and you're saying that Randall Grichuk should be bagging groceries, clever. He's better than any of us could ever be. He's one of 700 people in the big leagues. He's had a very nice big league career. Is he a star? No. Has he done well so far? No. But you want to give up on him because that's my point about you not knowing baseball. If you're going to give up on somebody after a week or after 2 weeks, then you don't know what you're talking about. Call me in May when he's at 2 home runs. Then we can have a discussion. And you're arguing with me about somebody that I said they should not have given the qualifying offer to. I said it over and over and over on the show. I've had discussions with Cashman about it. They think it was the right move. They think that was something unlocked there. And the power's not there. He is getting on about 35% of the time. So he's not a terrible leadoff hitter in that sense. But it's stunning to me, Eric, that you want to hang on the rim after 15 games. You know when you hang on the rim at the All-Star break, when the guy's hitting 194 with 4 home runs, then you can call up, and then I'll say, you were right from the very beginning, Eric. But don't tell me after 15 games that you say, oh, I know what I'm talking about. I'm a genius. You said I don't know baseball. You don't. You don't. If you're going to make snap judgments after 1 or 2 weeks, you don't know baseball. You think the Yankees are going to bench Trent Grisham now? For what? You just said that Grichuk should be bagging groceries at Ralph's. Okay, so then the only one you could play is Grichuk. He's your backup outfielder. So if you want to talk about the way the team was put together, that's one story. And they're not going to bring up Jason Dominguez to be the everyday center fielder because he's not a good defender. And Grisham happens to be a good defender who didn't have a good defensive year last year. Let's go to Ben in Myrtle Beach. Ben.
Hey, Michael. First time, long time. Love the show.
Thanks, Ben.
Wanted to say that you really spoke for all Yankee fans on during the 7th inning on Saturday night when we went down by 1, and you were like, it's so daunting. It just felt lifeless. It felt hopeless. Mm-hmm. And I think the solution should be you center a package around Jazz and Grisham, Elmer Rodriguez, Jason Dominguez, and pick up Stephen Kwan and Jose Ramirez and call it. Thanks so much.
Ben, why are the Guardians trading Jose Ramirez? He just signed a lifetime contract with them. Would it be great to get Jose Ramirez? Yeah. Why are they trading him? He took far under market value to sign a lifetime deal with the Guardians. He doesn't want to go anywhere. Now, Stephen Kwan's a different story. But where are you putting Stephen Kwan? So you'd have to move Bellinger to center field, and you put Stephen Kwan in left, and the guy you're paying $22 million to, you're going to make him a bench player. And by the way, to Eric in Sayville or Bayville, wherever the hell he was, right? You lied twice. You lied twice. Because I just looked it up. Grisham had 10 home runs in August last year and 6 home runs in September. So not only do you not know baseball, but you can't actually understand stats. You just told me he had 0 home runs in August and he had 2 home runs in September. It's an outright lie. The last 2 months of the season, he had 16 home runs out of his 34. So you're wrong. And you're coming to the wrong place for somebody to defend Grisham. I'm not defending Grisham. I thought it was a gross overpay, and everybody kept telling me, oh, it's just 1 year. Okay, that's 1 year where that's $22 million that you can't spend on something else. So it's a gross overpay. You know why he was so unbelievably valuable last year? Because he made $5 million. And he outplayed that by 4 or 5 times the price. 34 home runs. That's why it was a phenomenal year. Now at 22, now it's not, a gift that he gives you that. Now it's a necessity that he gives you that because you're wasting 22 of your payroll on him. But am I giving up on him after 15 games? No, I'm not. You know why? Because I know baseball and Eric doesn't. Right now, new FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get $250 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. That's right, turn $5 into $250 in bonus bets just for getting started. And when every possession matters in the playoffs, FanDuel makes it easy to get closer to the action. From player props on your favorite stars to all the tools you need to back them up. FanDuel puts player research right at your fingertips so you can check stats, trends, and matchups all in one place and make your picks with confidence. It's everything you need all in one app. So don't miss your shot. Head to FanDuel.com/local to get started. FanDuel, play your game. 21 plus, physically present in New York. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with a gambling problem, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
Monday with Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. The Knicks will face the Hawks in the first round. How confident are you that they'll advance?
It's great to be in this position, but it doesn't really mean anything because at the end of the day, when you get in the playoffs, you got to find a way to win 4 of those 7.
And with both teams on 5-game losing streaks, is it time to be worried about the Yankees and the Mets? Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg today at 3 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
Prizes,
Flyaways.
even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting ESPNNewYorkContests.com.
That's ESPNNewYorkContests.com.
New York Knicks fans, here's a total slam dunk. For a limited time, new Verizon Mobile and home customers can get Fios and a line of mobile for just $69.99 a month with AutoPay. Get Fios 300 megabits per second for $20 a month and unlimited welcome for $50 a month plus taxes and fees when you bring your own phone. Visit a Verizon store today to learn more. For new Fios Internet and mobile customers, discounts applied over 36 months. Mobile and home discount enrollment required. Additional terms apply. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds.
Partner with Amazon Hub Delivery to earn extra income for your business with your business. Assist with local Amazon deliveries and get paid for each package you deliver. When you become a partner, you and your staff will deliver packages to customers in your area on a schedule that works for you. Gain extra income, increase exposure for your business, and connect with neighbors. It's easy to get started with no delivery experience, long-term contracts, or startup costs required. Interested in learning more? Visit Amazon.com/Hub Delivery. That's Amazon.com/HUB Delivery.
New year, new season, same goal. Feel good and stay in the game. But if neck pain, back pain, joint pain, or sciatica is holding you back, it's time to handle it. I'm Bart Scott, and I'm telling you to call Dr. J. Shaw at Sandwell Pain. Dr. Shaw is an Ivy League trained, double board certified, and he specializes in getting people back to living pain-free. No surgery, no scars, no long recovery, no pain medication. Just precise, non-surgical, image-guided treatments that work. Same-day or next-day appointments are available with offices in Woodbridge, Livingston, and Inglewood. Stop playing through pain. Go to SandwellPain.com. Relief starts today.
Gold and silver prices are soaring and near all-time highs. If you want to get cash in your hands for your old jewelry, now is the time. Get the most competitive prices at the Estates Roadshow. Old rings, chains, and even broken jewelry. Don't wait. Cash in while gold and silver are hot. 4 locations this week: Paramus, Staten Island, Old Bridge, and Toms River. Bring your gold, silver, coins, diamonds, and watches, even broken pieces, and get cash on the spot. There's never been a better time to sell. No appointments, no fees, no pressure. Just friendly professional buyers with over 35 years in the business. Go to the Estates Roadshow Monday through Friday in Paramus at the Courtyard by Marriott, Staten Island at the Hilton Garden Inn, and Friday through Tuesday in Old Bridge at TMT Cash for Gold, the bright yellow building on Route 9 South and Toms River, corner of Route 37 and Hooper Avenue. For more info, follow Estates Roadshow on Facebook or go to tmtcashforgold.com.
This is Rick Brunson, the assistant coach from the New York Knicks. I'll be driving to our games this season in style in my new Jeep Gladiator from Princeton Jeep. My friends at Princeton Jeep gave me all-star treatment, and you can expect the same thing. Just mention I sent you, and they'll treat you like family. Princeton Jeep has tons of inventory and great deals on new vehicles. Visit Princeton Jeep at 1045 State Road in Princeton, New Jersey, or online at PrincetonJeeps.com and tell them Rick Brunson sent you.
If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique personal injury and workers' compensation laws. At the Parisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling all types of accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for injured New Yorkers. From construction to car accidents and slips and falls, they've got you covered. Call the Parisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS, where your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.
Dell PCs with Intel inside are built for the moments you plan.
and the ones you don't. For the time you forgot your charger at the gate.
Passengers, we are now on our initial ascent.
Or when you're bouncing between projects like a ping pong ball. We build PCs with long-lasting battery life, so you're not scrambling for an outlet. And built-in intelligence, so you can stay focused on whatever you're doing. Dell Technologies, built for you. Dell.com/Dell PCs.
In a world in need of a hero, one man rises to the challenge in style. He is just driving the kids to soccer practice. Make every day feel epic in an all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid with up to an EPA-estimated 619 miles of range on select trims, advanced tech, and class-leading interior space. Because when you're hauling kids, gear, snacks, and backpacks, space matters. And so does comfort. Just make sure they keep their cleats off the seats. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for details.
Hey, Game Time is brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, because when it's game time, it's Tully time. 7 p.m., the Rangers are in Florida to play the Panthers. Coverage will begin at 6:30 p.m. on 1050 ESPN. 7:05, Yankees host the Angels up at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. I'll be doing the game with Paul O'Neill and Meredith Marakovitz. That game will be seen on the Yes Network. At 10:10, the Mets are in Los Angeles to play the Dodgers. Coverage begins at 9:30 p.m. That'll be right here on 880 ESPN. Tullamore Dew, the original triple distilled, triple blended, triple cast matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew. Try the new Tullamore Dew Honey during today's action. Glass up to enjoying Tullamore Dew responsibly. Yankees get swept in St. Pete. The Mets get swept at Citi Field yesterday, a 1-0 loss. We'll talk more about the Mets as we move along, and there are some concerns there as well. And by the way, every single person can see the absolute invaluable value of Juan Soto. Not the same team without Juan Soto, is it? Not the same team. That's why you pay him that kind of money, because he is not only a game changer, he's a team changer. He's a lineup changer. He's a lineup lengthener. Because when Juan Soto was playing, Francisco Lindor, I think, had 12 walks. Without Juan Soto playing, he hasn't walked once. Changes the way a pitcher attacks a lineup, too. So they better hope that calf gets ready in a hurry. Let's go to Dylan in Levittown. Dylan?
Hi, Michael. How are you?
Good. How you doing, Dylan?
I just wanted you to help me try to understand what makes no sense about Brian Cashman sometimes. So, Spencer Jones, I called you last week, which you have made some good points. They're not going to call him up, and clearly they have no desire to call him up because they re-signed Grisham, so there's no room for him anyway. So last year at the deadline, when Spencer Jones was at the top of his value, he'll never be that valuable again, ever. They made him untouchable. This is from John Heyman, so I'm not making it up. John Heyman reported that he was key untouchable unless it was for a deal for Paul Skeens, so I'm not being hyperbolic. If he was made untouchable, but they had no plans of calling him up anyway because they re-signed Grisham, why didn't we trade for a better player?
Wait, 1 second, Dylan. They didn't re-sign Grisham until November. This was at the trade deadline, and all due respect to John Heyman, who I think is great and happens to be a good friend, he's not untouchable. He's not untouchable. He's not untouchable now. They're not going to give him
They said that he
away.
only made him untouchable for Paul Skeens. My question is, why didn't we get a good third baseman last year for Spencer Jones, who's still in the minors right now?
Let me ask you something, Dill. Who was the third baseman that got traded that's a better defender than McMahon? Who? Who got traded?
No, but
Eugenio Suarez, right?
But we didn't even and I know you're saying that you don't think. I guess you are more inclined than John Heyman, but he said he was made untouchable. But he's not going to play anyway, and he was at the height of his value. We could have got so many more.
Why didn't they trade him for a third baseman? Who's the third baseman that got traded that they could have gotten? Who?
Or they could have gotten a better hitter for last year's playoff run. Either way. They just kept him here, and now he has no value.
They were going who? Spencer Jones?
Yeah, now he has less value now, and he's
Dylan,
a year older. He was at the peak of his value.
Let me let you in on a little dirty secret. Okay, everybody in baseball sees that the guy strikes out 35% of the time. The value you think he has is not as high as you think it is. The Pirates would not have traded Paul Skeens for Spencer Jones. The Yankees are smart. They're taking a former first-round draft pick, and they're putting him on a high level and hoping that teams desire him. You know who's untouchable on the Yankees? Carlos Lagrange, George Lombard Jr., Dax Kilby. I do not believe that Spencer Jones is untouchable. I just don't. Now, he started off horribly at AAA, struck out 50% of the time, 50% of the time, and had a much better week the second week. Let's let it breathe. He's got to cut his strikeouts down to like 29%. He can't be in the 30s, because if he's in the 30s at AAA, that means he's going to be in the 40s in the big leagues. You can't carry that. The highest strikeout percentage in the big leagues last year was Ryan McMahon. I think he was like 28%. You can't carry a guy who strikes out 35% of the time. The Paul Skeens thing is a dream. The Pirates aren't trading Paul Skeens. They have control of him for another 4 years. And you think the Pirates would give you Paul Skeens and take Spencer Jones? Now, if the Yankees want to throw in Spencer Jones and Lagrange and Lombard and Schlittler, then the Pirates might listen. But you think that they would listen for a deal that's built around Spencer Jones? Do you see the numbers? Don't you think the Pirates see the numbers? I want Spencer Jones to do well. He's a great guy. And don't you think the Yankees want Spencer Jones to do well? As I've mentioned this before, a first-round draft pick, incredible power, runs really well, a great defender, really a handsome guy. They could build a marketing campaign around him. So they're not holding him down there because they want to be mean. And if they thought that he was ready to play center field in the big leagues, they would not have given Trent Grisham the qualifying offer. The fact that they did screams out to you they don't think he's ready. And at 25, if you haven't even gotten one major league at bat, you have to wonder, is he ever going to be ready? The Yankees got burned with that sort of player with Joey Gallo. Maybe they learned from it. Let's go to Gil in Jersey. Gil.
Hey, Michael, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
We got one thing in common. Well, I'm a year older than you, and your idol is my idol, Bobby Mercer. I remember him sitting in the right field bleachers. I wave at him. I mean, they were good old times then, but I'm glad Steinbrenner came around. But you hit it right on the nail when you said that 7, 8, and 9 ain't hitting, which they're not. And I said the same thing last year. 7, 8, and 9 wasn't hitting last year.
But Gil,
so
you're wrong, though.
Really
with all due respect, they were the fifth most productive bottom of the order in baseball. Everybody thinks that they weren't productive last year. They were the fifth most productive bottom of the order in baseball, offensively.
But Wells' average was what, 219, I think it was.
Yeah, but he had 21 home runs. Gil, all I'm telling you is the stats.
Yeah,
the stats
I know
tell
what you're
me
saying.
that they're the fifth most productive bottom of the order offense in baseball. That's not made up. That's not me putting lipstick on a pig. Is it the same as Judge and Stanton? No, of course not, because those are two great hitters that are going to produce at an incredible high. Now, you could say this is dreadful, what we're seeing from the bottom of the order. Only the White Sox are worse. The White Sox, a team that's not built to try to contend this year. So if you want to say this is a problem, yes, but you can't say, I knew this was going to be a problem because last year was a problem. Last year wasn't a problem. And even if it was a problem, let's say the bottom of the order was just dreadful last year, right? They led the major leagues in runs scored. They led the major leagues in OPS plus. They led the major leagues in home runs. You're not going to have 40 home run hitters batting 7th, 8th, and 9th. Those are going to be your lesser hitters. And they still were 5th in production offensively. This year, there's no defending them. None. Let's go to Bill in California. Bill.
Yeah, hi, Michael. Can you hear me okay?
I hear you great. What's up, man?
I was born and raised in New Jersey. I live in Hawaii, and I'm visiting in California, so I'm able to call you because I can't call you from Hawaii for some strange reason. The toll-free number doesn't get through. Well, anyway, I just wanted to recite a couple things very, very, very respectfully because I think Aaron Judge is a top-notch ball player, and I think he's got a tremendous personality. Every interview I've ever heard from the guy tells me he's a quality human being.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I haven't been able to address this with you for the reasons I stated earlier. So since 2017, in approximately 65 playoff games, he's batted .236. Before that, up through 2024, from 2017 to 2024, he batted .205. And I kind of compare him to Clayton Kershaw. I don't think Clayton Kershaw is anything but a, Cy Young Award winner and a Hall of Famer. And I think Aaron Judge is a Hall of Fame player. But some guys just don't do as well in the playoffs as they do in the regular season, and that takes nothing away from them as a player or a human being. It's just the way it is.
So the 500 he hit last year, it doesn't matter, right? He hit 500 in the playoffs last year.
No, it matters. I'm just giving you a compilation from the time he's been in the playoffs.
So
from 2017
you know what, Bill? When you have time, when you're back in Hawaii, go check out Mookie Betts' compilation. And the other guys around him have picked him up. Has Judge, again, I said this last week, I'm not going to litigate this every day. If you don't like Judge and you don't think Judge can hit, that's on Judge to hit in the postseason, not for me to defend him. It's just not. If he wants to have this narrative stop, he's got to win a World Series and hit like he hit in last year's playoffs. That's all there is to it. Alex Rodriguez didn't hit in the playoffs till 2009. Now you don't have that hangover set anymore, right? But it's frankly exhausting. It's not for me to sit here and defend to you the greatness of Aaron Judge. It's just not. Because I give you the numbers, I give you the times that he has come through in the postseason, and it still doesn't change your opinion. So if that's your opinion, it's up to Aaron Judge to change it. It's not up to me to change it. I've made my points. I've litigated this plenty. I don't want these 2 hours every single day, Monday through Friday, to be an argument about Aaron Judge in the postseason. Because as I said earlier, Bill, if he didn't hit in the regular season, they wouldn't get to the postseason. You see how the offense is exposed now because Judge is not locked in yet? Do you see? Did you see how the offense was exposed when he missed 60 games after running into the wall at Dodger Stadium, where they didn't make the playoffs? So please don't diminish what he does in the regular season, because he wouldn't have a chance to fail in the postseason if he wasn't so great in the regular season. He just wouldn't. Again, I'm sorry. I don't mean to be rude about it. You seem like a nice guy, Bill, but it's exhausting sitting here every day defending one of the greatest players that we'll ever see. Check out Ted Williams' stats in the postseason. Check them out. Check out Willie Mays' stats in the postseason. Most great players, right? Most do not hit the same as they do in the regular season in the postseason. See how great Stanton was in 2024? Check out what he did last year. Didn't show up. But Judge was 13 for 26. But that's a yeah, but. Again, I fall into the trap because I've got too much information and I want to give it to you, but it doesn't matter because you're all in the, I shouldn't say all, a lot of you in the mindset, Judge can't hit in the postseason. You forget Class A. You forget Game 5 against the Dodgers in 2024 when he had the double, 2 walks, and a home run. You forget all that. Fine. You've got your mind made up. Nothing I say is going to change your mind. So let's move on and be friends. We'll be back.
Tricon Construction is expanding across New Jersey, taking on larger, more complex commercial projects and delivering at a big league level. If you're a developer who values precision, accountability, and execution, you need a construction partner who understands what's at stake, timelines, capital, reputation. That's Tricon. They're building the right way with experienced leadership, disciplined project management, and a team that shows up ready. Serious projects, serious results. Visit TriconBuilds.com, TriconBuilds.com.
Hey fans, come out to Yankee Stadium on Friday, April 17th when the Yankees host the Royals, and be ready to receive a Yankees promotional giveaway that has become a fan favorite. It's Yankees Hockey Jersey Night, presented by StubHub. The first 18,000 guests in attendance will receive a Yankees hockey jersey. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com/tickets. Again, don't miss the Yankees and Royals for Yankees Hockey Jersey Night, presented by StubHub on Friday, April 17th. Visit Yankees.com/tickets today.
At City Harvest, we believe no New Yorker has to go hungry. With your help, we're on the road 365 days a year, rescuing over 77 million pounds of nutritious food and delivering it free to millions of New Yorkers, transforming surplus food into sustenance, sustainability, and smiles, rallying thousands of New Yorkers to power a network of nourishment across our city. One day, one meal, and one New Yorker at a time. That's how we feed good. Donate at cityharvest.org.
D'Agostino Law Bite Back. This is John D'Agostino from D'Agostino & Associates. Did you know Social Security takes money out of every paycheck you earn, paycheck after paycheck, and you're not supposed to touch that money until you're 67? What if you can't work? What if you need that money now? The system is challenging and most people get denied. That's a fact. D'Agostino & Associates has the experience to win, and we win a lot. If you filed for Social Security disability benefits and were denied, let us appeal. Call us first at 1-800-BITE-BACK. Bite Back means fight back. 1-800-248-3222. We'll fight to get you paid. D'Agostino & Associates has offices throughout New York and New Jersey and handles Social Security disability claims and appeals. Remember, if you've been denied, call us first. 1-800-BITE-BACK. That's 1-800-248-3222. D'Agostino & Associates. We win. A lot.
More people trust their hearts to New York Presbyterian than any other hospital in New York. It's because New York Presbyterian has the most experienced cardiovascular doctors, treating a full range of heart conditions, from heart failure to valve repair, with the most advanced treatments. Find a doctor at nyp.org/heart. New York Presbyterian. New York Presbyterian Hospital, based on U.S. News & World Report 2025 to 2026 Cardiology, Heart, and Vascular Surgery Rankings.
If you love great food and smart prices, you need to know about Wild Fork Foods. Right now, beef tenderloin is only $10 a pound, and Atlantic salmon portions are just $9.98 a pound. That's serious value on awesome quality cuts. Plus, Wild Fork offers over 450 meat and seafood options, all blast frozen to lock in freshness and flavor. Visit one of their 7 stores across Long Island and New Jersey, or get same-day delivery at wildforkfoods.com.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
In today's fast-moving job market, staying ahead means keeping your skills sharp. At University of Maryland Global Campus, we help keep your capabilities cutting edge with our skills-based education programs designed to move your career forward. Explore more than 135 degrees and certificates in business, cybersecurity, and more. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start May 13th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chef.
Now through April 23rd, get to Floor & Decor's flagship store in Brooklyn at 850 3rd Avenue. Enter the Design Your Day with K sweepstakes presented by Floor & Decor. Discover unmatched selection, unbelievable prices, plus standout looks in tile, wood, stone, and more. Explore fresh ideas, find your inspiration, and see real people, real projects. The Design Your Day with K sweepstakes, only at Floor & Decor in Brooklyn. Now through April 23rd. Visit ESPNNewYork.com for full details and rules. ESPN New York and Floor & Decor are giving you the chance to design your day with me, Michael K. One lucky fan and a guest will win a studio visit, exclusive meet and greet with me. This is your all-access pass and experience that you won't forget. To enter, head to the Floor & Decor flagship store at 850 3rd Avenue in Brooklyn. Design your day with me, Michael K., presented by Floor & Decor. All right, the Mets got swept by the Athletics. The Athletics had a great week in New York. They had 6 games. They were in New York for a week. They took 2 out of 3 from the Yankees. They swept the Mets in 3 straight. So yesterday it was 1-0. The Mets offense has stalled. Now, they have an excuse because Juan Soto's on the IL. But in 6 games on the homestand, 6, they lost 2 out of 3 to the Diamondbacks, and they got swept by the A's. They scored 13 runs in 6 games. That's not going to get it done. And for all those people that always question a manager, if you're sitting at home, right, and you're watching the Met game yesterday, and you see that Mendoza could have hit for Jared Young in the 6th and Tyrone Taylor in the 8th. They could have pinch hit Luis Robert, right? And he didn't do it. So you're probably thinking, well, why did he do it? Is he dumb? Does he not know what he's doing? I mean, Luis Robert's been hitting really well. The health and science people of the Mets, just like the health and science team of every single organization in sports, they have more power than the manager or the coach in basketball, hockey, and football. More power. They have told him, because they want to keep Luis Robert Jr. healthy, he had played 5 games in a row. The only thing they were allowing Mendoza to do was to use him in a pinch-hitting role, but they would not allow him to play in the outfield, even for 1 inning. And that's what it would have taken if you pinch hit in the 8th. He would have had to play the outfield in the top of the 9th. And they wouldn't allow him to go out there. So Mendoza didn't use him as a pinch hitter because he couldn't use him in the outfield. He's a 28-year-old man who's a professional athlete. But the health and science department of the Mets, they said, our intent is to keep him healthy. So a game on April 12th, we are not letting you play him even 3 outs in the outfield. So I was talking with Joe Girardi, who, by the way, is an extraordinary analyst. If you didn't listen to the games this week that I did with him, he's on top of everything. And we were talking during a commercial, and he shook his head. He goes, I understand why fans second-guess things. That's part of the beauty of the sport. He goes, but they don't realize the information that we have that they'll never have, that we're told that we don't tell them what we're told. So you take the money, you take the nonsense, you take the hit. Part of being a manager is taking all the blame. But know one thing, they know stuff that we don't know when they make their decisions. They do. So now the Mets have to snap out of this slump by playing the Dodgers. That's not the way you draw it up, I'll tell you that. Not the way you draw it up. One other thing that you have to talk about with the Mets. Now, Lindor had 2 hits yesterday, but he's off to his usual slow start. And, I mentioned this last week, and people say, oh, you don't even know what you're talking about. You always start slowly. I get it. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm concerned about him is his head's in his backside. He's making mistakes mentally that he has never made before. This guy is a Hall of Fame level player. He's not covering the base. He's doing everything wrong. He's forgetting how many outs there were. Now, I don't know how you cure this. Why is he like this? Why is he not locked in? It makes no sense whatsoever. This is not a good player. This is a great player. And you never hear me criticize people for making physical mistakes. It's part of the game. I couldn't do it. But one thing I could tell you, I'd know how many outs there were. I'd know what base to cover. Any player. You don't have to be a great, phenomenal athlete to know the rules, to know the situation. The fact that somebody who's always locked in and is such a great player is so mentally lost out there screams the question. I don't even know what the question is. Why is he like this? Why is he doing this? Is there something going on in his life that we don't know? No player should make that many mental mistakes. None. And it's costing the Mets. It's costing them games. He's got to wake up. Go to Thomas in West Haven. What's up, Thomas?
Good afternoon, Michael.
How you doing?
Hey, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm doing all right. So the lifelong Met fan, and this Lindor situation is starting to worry me just a little bit because we're so accustomed to his slow starts, but his defense has always been there. And, now looking at the glass, through a wide lens and all the things that were going wrong in the locker room and whatnot, what if Lindor has been an issue for this team? I don't understand. Maybe because Cohen told there's going to be no captain. Do you think that's got any weight to maybe what's going on with him mentally?
Thomas, I wish I know.
To him?
I wish I knew, because this guy is not. Listen, I know he starts slowly offensively. That we know. So we could just chalk it up. That's the way he is. But the mental mistakes, I don't get it. I don't understand the problem in the locker room. I'm not there, so I can't speak to that much. Supposedly there was not, a real love between he and Soto. They both deny it. That's been written. Again, I'm not there. But this guy's going to be here for a long time, man. He's in the middle of a long-term deal. He's not going anywhere. And nobody would take him at $34 million a year. As good as he is. So I don't know. I wish I had the answer to that, because that's part of the problem. That's why the Mets are 7-9 right now. Because it's incumbent upon Lindor to pick up the team with Soto out. And one other thing about Met fans, I applaud Met fans for the reception they gave Jeff McNeil. That was great. That wasn't just a perfunctory, let's stand up because he's been here a long time. That was real love shown from the fans at Citi Field. I give you guys total props. I jumped you when you booed Bo Bichette the first or second game, but that showed me something. Other players see that stuff. That was a real appreciation for the batting title he won, for the years that he put in for the team, and I give you guys credit. That was excellent. Excellent. The Knicks know who they're playing, and strangely, the team they're playing wants to play the Knicks. We'll talk about that. Continue to take your phone calls on the baseball, so stay right where you are. The K Show, rolling till 3 on ESPN New York.
1-877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877 Cars for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now or go to carsforkids.org.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Hey, New York and New Jersey, Boost Mobile has an unlimited talk, text, and data plan that's only $25 a month forever, meaning you'll only ever pay $25 a month for the rest of your life. Who wouldn't want unlimited wireless when it only costs $25 a month forever? If you don't, you must be one of those people who enjoy overpaying for their phone plan. $25 a month forever is truly as good as it gets, so go online and switch now at boostmobile.com. After 30 gigabytes, customers may experience slower speeds. Customers will pay $25 a month as long as they remain active on the Boost Mobile Unlimited plan.
Hey, it's Alan Hahn. Rings End is your locally owned Benjamin Moore retailer. They're your store for quality with a full line of brilliant and durable Benjamin Moore paints. They're your store for inspiration with thousands of colors and a variety of sheens. And Rings End is your store for expertise with one-on-one advice for contractors and homeowners. Insist on Benjamin Moore paint from Rings End because the gorgeous color you love can't be matched in another brand of paint.
Chris Carlin with you. Glad to be joined right now by Taylor Canfield. He is the U.S. Sail GP team driver. And we are all getting ready for the Mubadala New York Sail Grand Prix coming up at the end of May. Taylor, how we doing?
Yeah, we're excited for the home event in New York. And, can't wait to be there and racing in front of all the fans.
Tell us why fans should be excited for the Mubadala New York Sail Grand Prix.
The racing is just so exhilarating coming in and watching it from the shoreline of Governor's Island and in front of the Statue of Liberty, racing in one of the biggest, most amazing cities in the world. I'm getting the goosebumps just talking about it. And these boats are the fastest boats in the world, racing with the best sailors in the world. It's really cool, and it's going to be so electric in New York. And it's our home event this year, so we're pumped.
We are pumped as well, Taylor. We appreciate your time. He is U.S. Sail GP team driver Taylor Canfield. We're looking forward to the Mubadala New York Sail Grand Prix coming at the end of May. Taylor, thanks.
What's up, Met fans? This is Francisco Lindor.
This is Devin Williams.
This is Luke Weaver. Bo Bichette here. You're listening to the home of New York Mets baseball.
WHSQ and WCBS FM HD2, New York.
Life is motion, but for Jaime, debilitating pain in both hips brought everything, including family time, to a halt.
Every doctor told me the same thing. They would do one hip at a time.
At White Plains Hospital, Dr. Jacob Totka's unique expertise provided an alternate approach by replacing both of Jaime's hips on the same day.
In just 2 hours, I got 2 new hips, and I went home that day.
White Plains Hospital, among the best hospitals anywhere that just so happens to be here. A member of the Montefiore Health System.
It's Rich Eisen for Pella Windows and Doors. Sometimes teams take a timeout to regroup and call the right play. When it comes to your home, Pella Windows and Doors always has the winning game plan. They do it every day, and that's why your neighbors trust them. Visit Pella.com/Eisen today. Right now, Pella Windows and Doors of New Jersey is offering up to 25% off windows and doors and 0% financing for 24 months. Some restrictions may apply. See store for details. Offer ends April 30th, 2026.
Okay, team. Huddle up.
Why are you dressed like a hockey player?
Because America's energy security is on thin ice. We're facing an overburdened electric grid, rising fuel costs, and severe weather. But here's your power play. Propane. It's affordable, abundant, safe. Propane is reliable energy, even when the grid isn't. Advantage Propane.
Learn more at propane.com/powerplay.
All right, so yesterday was the final day of the NBA regular season, and now we know who the Knicks are going to play. They're going to play the Hawks. They were 2-1 against the Hawks during the regular season. They could have played the Raptors. The Raptors beat up on the Nets, and the Nets did exactly what I wanted them to do. I told you on Friday they had to lose out, and they lost 2 games, so they are third for the lottery. So they didn't fall out of the top 3, which is important, so their entire miserable season doesn't go for nothing. But the Hawks rested essentially everybody in their game against the Heat, and they lost to the Heat. And by losing to the Heat and the Knicks finishing second, the Hawks are going to play the Knicks in the first round. So it's very clear. Quinn Snyder's saying he just wanted to keep everybody healthy. He could have, if he played them and beat the Heat, he could have ended up playing the Cavaliers. So by doing what he did, the way he coached yesterday, it's very clear that Quinn Snyder wants to play the Knicks, didn't want to play the Cavs. We'll see how that plays out. Bold strategy, Cotton. Again, we'll see how it plays out. But the Knicks were 5-0 against Toronto and really beat them up bad. And although they were 2-1 against Atlanta, the 2 wins were by 3 points apiece, and the loss was by 13 points. So, should the Knicks win this series? Yes, of course they should. Could it be more difficult than the Raptor series was going to be? Of course it will be. Now, I just don't think that the Hawks are going to beat the Knicks. But you want to get through these early rounds as unscathed as possible, as easily as possible. You don't need series to go the entire distance, because if they do, that impacts you in other series. It gets people hurt. It fatigues people. You want an easy series. So the Knicks' chance at what statistically looked like it could be an easy series goes by the board because of the fact that the Atlanta Hawks didn't play anybody and got waxed by the Heat. So we'll see how this plays out. Now, an interesting thing that I wanted to tell all of you, that there's a poll in The Athletic. Anonymous players voted. They got a lot of players to vote on who was going to win the title. And the majority, 50% of the people voting said Oklahoma City. Then 25.8% said the Spurs. Celtics were third at 8.2%. But here's the thing that shocked me. They only listed the top 9 choices that the players voted for. The Knicks didn't make the top 9. Now, if I'm Mike Brown, I'm using that as motivation. Nobody thinks we could win. People have discounted us. We have no respect. He can actually say we have no respect. The Pistons could say it too. They're all picking the Celtics over the Pistons. Pistons finished first. So none of these players voted the Knicks in the top 9 in teams that they think are going to win a championship. To me, that's startling. Startling. And I'm a little startled that only half the people picked OKC. OKC brings back everybody. They're healthy. They're great. And no one thinks they're going to repeat. So, I mean, if you look at it, not no one, but 50% don't think they can repeat. And, you know, they struggle against the Spurs. Last year, although they won the title, it took them 7 games to beat Indiana. Maybe they're looking at that. So again, OKC, the Spurs, the Celtics, and the Knicks, nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. One quick note. Mikal Bridges has an incredible streak going, 638 consecutive starts. He has not missed a game since high school. Played every game in high school. So before high school. Played every game at Villanova. And has played every game in the NBA. Amazing. I think I'm not going to do a deep dive on this because it's not fair. Because he did it last year too, and I said it then. He played 23 seconds yesterday. Knicks rested everybody, and they lost because the game meant nothing. Meant nothing for positioning, so they did the smart thing. But he played 23 seconds. Doesn't that take a little of the luster away from the record? Just a little bit. Now, I guess you could say, hey, he was able to play, and he was willing to play, but they want to keep their guys healthy. Okay, but he played 23 seconds. The first dead ball, boom, he's out. First dead ball foul, he's out. I'm wondering if you, our listeners, think that takes a little bit of the oomph away from the record. He did play. He was able to play. He started. Get it, got it. And if it was an important game, he would have played the whole time. Now, a lot of people say that there are a couple of games during Lou Gehrig's streak where he took one at bat and left. But that was not the case with Cal Ripken Jr. He didn't have games like that. In fact, for about over half the streak, he played every single inning of every single game. So now 2 years in a row, the last game of the year, Bridges plays a couple of seconds to keep the streak going. I don't know. I'm not gonna diminish his streak, but it does make you just tilt your head just a little bit. 1-800-919-3776. Let's go to David on the east side. David.
Yeah, I'm calling it now. You will hear Knicks fans chant at the Garden, F. Trae Young, even though he's on the Wizards. It's going to be those same idiots that are chanting F. Juan Soto. I'm just saying it's going to happen.
Hopefully it won't, but
now that the regular
will.
season is over, I want to give Mike Brown his report card, and I give him a B+. I think, look, it's basically the same result as last year, 3 seed, but can't beat the 1 seed in either conference. So it makes me question, like, was this really worth moving on from Tibbs? And specifically, I think we're just a team that lives or dies by the 3, and that has me a little worried, especially going against a hot team like the Hawks.
Well, I mean, giving him a report card, David, after the regular season is like, giving somebody their final grade before the final exams. We grade Mike Brown on this postseason. There's no way around it. Does he get beyond Game 6 to the Eastern Conference Finals? If he doesn't, then the move looks dumb. If he does, then the move is validated. What he does during the regular season, I mean, we could look at, the 30,000-foot view and go, the offense isn't that much different. It's just not. It seems like he's kind of figured out how to use Cat and Brunson together, and it took till like game 78 to do that. That's a little bit of a concern, but none of it matters until we see how they do in the playoffs. Call back then, David, and give his grade. If he gets knocked out in the second round by the Celtics, then it's a failure. It's a failure in terms of what Tibbs did last year. And the owner has been quoted, he's on tape, as saying that he expects his team to go to the finals and expects them to win. And we had on James Edwards III, who covers the Knicks for The Athletic last week, and he said that if they get knocked out early, he doesn't put it past Dolan and the front office to get rid of Brown. Because remember, and you all do, because you're all sports fans if you're listening to the show, he was not their first choice. Not their first choice. Probably not their sixth choice. That's what makes the firing all the more questionable. You fired a really good head coach with the hope of shaking loose a coach that was under contract for another team. Jason Kidd, Udoka, guys like that. That's what you tried to do. And then it came down to Brown. Now, Brown has a good NBA resume. But when the history of this sport is written, do you think Brown is going to be considered a better coach than Thibodeau? If he gets to the finals this year, maybe he will, because Thibodeau never got there. Thibodeau's gotten the conference finals, never gotten to the NBA finals. Let's see. I'll tell you this, Mike Brown better not lose the series to the Hawks. Better not. Can't. Won't. Let's go to Greg in the work truck. Hello, Greg.
Hey, Michael. Happy Monday to you. How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Mostly spectacular. I've got a Mets question and an NBA point to make to you if you'll let me. My Mets question is, I understand that spring training is something you look at with a grain of salt. But from what I look at, you look at Mark Vientos, who's struggling mightily at the plate, looks to be somewhat improving at first base. My question to you is, how long would you wait before you make a final determination on him? And my NBA point is, we've been hearing for the past couple of months or weeks, maybe months, that the NBA players are complaining about back-to-backs in the NBA. Well, the NHL, you don't hear those guys complaining about back-to-backs. They got 2 more games added to their schedules next year. And in a technical sense, Major League Baseball does back-to-backs all the time. So why is it a special case for the NBA players that have to complain about it, but guys in the Major League Baseball and NHL don't complain about it at all?
Well, let's take the second question first. Well, hockey players are a different breed. They don't have load management in hockey. Basketball players want load management. They just do. And they're going to say, well, their sport is much more physical, and they're running constantly, not like hockey have 3 or 4 minute shifts. They're just built differently. In baseball, you got to play all the time. It's part of the rules of engagement. So that's the answer to that. The other one, I'm not quite sure what you're saying. Give up on Viento's not supposed to be the first baseman anyway. It's supposed to be Polanco. So
I was thinking more along the lines, maybe you put Beatty at first base instead of having him in the outfield, because I'm not a fan of that. But
I think that the hope is that that Polanco's Achilles gets better and that he ends up playing first base, and then Vientos could end up being the DH. But you talked about spring training. The fact that Vientos will play for the WBC when he had one job to do, learn a new position, it's mind-boggling to me. And this isn't about somebody who doesn't like the WBC. I do. I think it's in the wrong time of the calendar, all that. But there are people that should have a responsibility to the team that's playing them or paying them. He knew he had to learn a new position. And he goes to the WBC where he did not play first. He was playing third. So, in effect, you're being derelict in your duty to your team that's paying you because you wanted to represent your country, which I know is a big deal, but it's also a big deal for you to get a foothold into a position with the Mets so that you could use your bat. Let's go to Tommy in Connecticut. Tommy.
Michael, always good to talk to you, buddy. How you doing?
Hey, thanks for calling, Tom.
Always. You brought up this topic about the consecutive games and the 24-second, you started the game, does not mean anything to me. I mean, you look at guys like Cal Ripken and obviously whose record he broke, which was Lou Gehrig, and the things that Eli Manning did, it doesn't. I'm sorry, it doesn't compare.
Well, I mean, as I said, everybody's going to have their own individual feelings, Tommy, and I could hear yours, and I'm not going to say you're wrong. I think that you kind of cheapened the record just a little bit because you jerry-rigged it. You didn't play in 82 games this year. You played in 81 games and 23 seconds. And the argument is going to be, well, you want to keep him healthy. Well, I'm sure, the Giants want to keep Eli healthy. And he played every game. And he could have played more, but they had the genius idea of starting Geno Smith instead. I just don't think you jerry-rig records. And that's what you're doing by just putting him in for a spot start. I will tell you this. Yesterday was not a proud day in the NBA. You look at all the players that didn't play. For the tanking teams, for teams that already had nailed down a playoff position, no one played yesterday. And you all could correct me if I'm wrong. You might have more information than I do. I think they charged full price for every single ticket to every game yesterday in the NBA. And they essentially watched G League players. The Knicks did. Knicks didn't play their starting lineup. They didn't play Brunson. They didn't play Hart. They didn't play Cat. You look at the guys that played for the Knicks. It was not a proud day for the NBA, and they're talking about how to stop tanking and stuff like that. Well, the thing that they really have to stop, and I think tanking's a big issue, you got to stop the load management nonsense. You just do. When I talked earlier about how Mendoza could not use Luis Robert Jr. to pinch hit in the eighth inning because the health and science people said you can't play him in the field today. He's played 5 games in a row. That's what NBA coaches have to deal with. They get it from agents. Agents don't want their players playing every game. They want them rested. They don't want them playing back-to-back. Somehow, I don't know if you get the milk back in the udder. And we could all thank Greg Popovich for this because he's the one who came up with the idea. I'm not going to blow out my players because we're trying to win championships, so I'll just play them only a certain amount of games. And people have the gall to complain that the NBA set a limit of 65 games in order for you to win a major award. And there are people complaining about that. That means you could miss 17 games and still win the MVP. And people are complaining about it. It's unfair. It's unfair. Cade Cunningham can't make an All-NBA team. He was legitimately hurt. He played in 64 games. Okay. I'm asking you to play 65. We're essentially asking you that you're telling you can miss approximately 22% of the games, 23% of the games, and still win the major awards. And you're still complaining and moaning? There's a mindset in the NBA that somehow has to be snapped out of. I don't know if Adam Silver can do it. And everything I've heard about the plans to stop the tanking, none of it is going to work. None of it. They're still going to incentivize teams to lose. None of it's working. And the Nets, 20-62 this year, right? Awful tanking for a draft pick. You know, there's a 20% chance that they'll get the 5th or 6th pick in the draft. Was it worth it? I know it's going to be a deep draft, but was it worth it? Sean Marks, in an interview with Ryan Rucco on Yes, said, I'll be very nervous when the pick. Well, really? Because you would have wasted a season if you don't get the number 1, 2, or 3 pick. You see, David Fizdale had an interview the other day on one of the podcasts, and he said, when I got hired, the Knicks said, we're tanking this year because we want to get the first pick in the draft. They wanted to get either John Morant or Zion Williamson, which would have been the first or 2 picks. And then we're going to sign Durant and Kyrie. So you're going to sacrifice this year of your career to David Fizdale. Well, what happened? They got the 3rd pick in the draft, which turned out to be R.J. Barrett. They didn't get John Morant. They didn't get Zion Williamson. And, oh, by the way, Kyrie didn't want to play for the Knicks, so he took Kevin Durant, and they went to Brooklyn. So all these great plans where you're just throwing away a season, that's a season the Knicks threw away and possibly, I don't think he's a great coach anyway, possibly could have hurt the career of David Fizdale. For what? For the hope? For a percentage? There's only a 40% chance that the Nets could win the lottery. 40%. So that means there's a 60% chance that they won't. And that's still not daunting enough for teams not to lose on purpose. Think about that. Think about that. They take a 40% chance at hitting the lottery rather than actually compete. My way's the only way. The first team in the play-in gets the first pick in the draft. The two seventh-seeded teams in each conference, the one with the best record gets the first pick. The one with the second best record gets the second. This way there is incentive. And the worst you could be, or the best you could be if you're one of the teams that don't even make the play-in, because 20 of the 30 teams essentially are in the playoffs. So there's 10 teams that aren't. So the worst, or the best you could be, would be the 9th pick in the draft. I want to see teams lose on purpose to get the 9th pick in the draft. I don't think it'll happen. I don't think it would happen. I don't think it should happen. Speaking of drafts, the NFL draft is coming up on Thursday, April 23rd, and New York, this great city, is on the clock. The Jets pick 2nd and 16th. The Giants pick 5th. And Rick DiPietro, I call him Yummy, and Dave Rothenberg, breaking it all down live. Live, right now, live. Join ESPN New York's Couchcast, your second screen for the NFL Draft. Real-time reactions, instant takes, and everything New York fans care about. Watch along, react with them, and don't miss a single moment. ESPN New York's Couchcast on draft night, April 23rd at 8 p.m. It is presented by our good friends at Calandra's Bakery. I'll tell you what, people. The last time we had a Couchcast was the Monday night game. I think the Jets played. It was a blast. We had so many people tune in to the ESPN New York YouTube app. It is really, really fun. So have it on your computer. You can watch ESPN on TV, watch the draft unfold. But the bottom line is get involved in the Couchcast. And with Rick and Dave, it's going to be a lot of fun. And if I can give you one other bit of advice. If you consume this show on 880 or the ESPN New York app, we thank you for that. But there's also a fun aspect of seeing the visual part of the show. And if you have the ESPN New York app, it's so easy to subscribe to the ESPN YouTube channel, ESPN New York YouTube channel. It's free. You just click on an icon and you have it. And then if you're home or if you're at work, you put it on your computer, you could see what we look like as we're saying what we say. I'm telling you, it's a secret hidden gem. And when I look at the numbers of people that are subscribed, and then I look at the numbers of people that are actually listening to the radio station, which are great, there's not enough that have subscribed. You should be locked in. I see people with podcasts that are not as popular as Hahn and Rosenberg or DiPietro and Rothenberg or Bart and Carlin or this show, and they seem like they have more subscribers to their YouTube channel. We should have more. So if you haven't done it, do it. Doesn't make sense that you haven't done it. Again, if you haven't done it, do it. That could be our new slogan. Like me and you for two is one. And then if you haven't done it, do it. And that really could apply to anything. So I'm going to take a quick break right now. While I do that, if you haven't subscribed to the ESPN New York YouTube channel, do it now. Listen to the commercial because it's important. They pay money to get that commercial. We want you to actually buy that product. But also, while you're listening and buying, click on the YouTube channel, subscribe for free. How much in life is free? Think about that. Not much. The K-Show rolling till 3 right here on ESPN New York.
1 in every 6 men is likely to be diagnosed with prostate cancer in his lifetime. That's why New York Presbyterian wants to remind men over 50 to book a prostate cancer screening. A simple blood test is all it takes. It could save your life. Screenings are available across New York City and Westchester at locations near you. Schedule your annual prostate cancer screening today at nyp.org/cancer screening. Stay amazing. New York Presbyterian.
Monday with Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. The Knicks will face the Hawks in the first round. How confident are you that they'll advance?
It's great to be in this position, but it doesn't really mean anything because at the end of the day, when you get in the playoffs, you gotta find a way to win 4 of those 7.
And with both teams on 5-game losing streaks, is it time to be worried about the Yankees and the Mets? Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg today at 3 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
If you manage an active facility, you don't have time for disruption. Tricon Construction specializes in working inside healthcare, commercial, and industrial buildings without shutting operations down. That means tight planning, clear communication, safe, disciplined execution, because when patients are inside, when tenants are working, when production can't stop, there's no margin for mistakes. When it has to be handled professionally and handled right, Tricon is the only choice. Visit TriconBuilds.com, TriconBuilds.com.
Attention, New York Verizon mobile customers. Score a massive win with award-winning Fios home internet for an incredible $20 a month, guaranteed for 3 years. Switch today for savings you can count on. Call 1-800-VERIZON now. For new Fios customers with autopay, mobile and home, and bonus discount. Enrollment required. 3-year price guarantee applies to the Fios base monthly rate only. Additional terms apply.
Wow, that's a lot of distractions. Why don't you just focus on the road?
Relax, I'm a great driver.
What about other drivers? Not everyone's a great driver.
I can watch out for them. I'll be fine.
Watch out! In 2023, more than 3,200 people died due to distracted drivers. Keep your eyes on the road. This message brought to you by the New York State Governor's Traffic Safety Committee.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
D'Agostino Law Bite Back. This is John D'Agostino from D'Agostino & Associates, and I know how a serious accident can change your life just like that.
I'm Jenna D'Agostino, and I understand that with pain comes medical bills and time out of work. Let us get you justice.
This is John Ryan, the closer. For over 35 years, our family has been getting accident victims every dollar they deserve.
I started this firm for the injured so they can bite back against the insurance companies.
Our legacy is to get you justice. Bite back.
To get you paid, bite back.
At D'Agostino & Associates, bite back means fight back. When you're hurt and they blame you, we bite back and get you every dollar you deserve. We have offices throughout New York and New Jersey, so call us first at 1-800-BITE-BACK. That's 1-800-248-3222. 1-800-248-3222. I've been there, and I'll be there for you.
Think great meat has to come with a high price? Not at Wild Fork Foods. Get beef tenderloin for only $10 a pound. Yes, $10 a pound. And Atlantic salmon portions just $9.98 a pound. That's awesome quality at a great value for your table. Everything is blast frozen to lock in flavor and nutrients. Shop one of their 7 locations, or you can order online for same-day delivery. WildForkFoods.com. Wild Fork Foods. Quality meat. Wild prices.
Rich Eisen here. For small businesses, every hire counts, and so does your time. Hiring can quickly become overwhelming, from sorting applications to figuring out who's truly qualified. That's where LinkedIn Hiring Pro helps. It streamlines the process so you can focus on connecting with the right candidates, not managing the noise. Hire right the first time. Post your job and get $100 off towards your job post at linkedin.com/Eisen. That's linkedin.com/Eisen. Terms and conditions apply.
My name is Christine, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, was a healthy 34-year-old, and 3 months later, he was gone. Thankfully, he had life insurance. Ethos made it so easy. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. 100% online, no medical exam. Life insurance didn't take away the loss, but it did give us the space to just grieve.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. Ethos.com/game. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Welcome back to the show, the Michael K. Show Reverse Remote, coming up on April 23rd, presented by Floor & Decor. A full show takeover with everything you need to upgrade your home while we break down everything happening in New York sports. And if you're in Brooklyn, stop by Floor & Decor's flagship store at 850 3rd Avenue, because while we're on the air, there's plenty happening in store. The Michael K. Show Reverse Remote, never been done before, presented by Floor and decor. Don't know if you saw this. I thought one of the mistakes that the Mets made was letting Edwin Diaz get away. Devin Williams has done a decent job for the Mets. Luke Weaver struggled just a little bit. And Edwin Diaz, when you look at it, he's pitched in 6 games on his 4 saves. But he has a 6.0 ERA, and he's allowed 4 runs in the 6 games. But the thing that is concerning is that his average fastball is 95.8 miles per hour. So, well, that's pretty good. He ended last year at 97.2 miles per hour. And he ended 2024 at 97.5 miles per hour. Now, historically, Diaz does take some time to get his velocity up, and he said it's been that way since he hurt his knee in the WBC. But even if you look at the beginning of last season, his velocity at 95.8 is off of what it was in March and April. Dodgers keep asking him. He said there's nothing wrong with him physically, so they wait and they see. But, you know, Edwin Diaz, everything he does plays off that fastball. And if that fastball is affected some way for some reason, well, let's keep an eye on that. Just thought I'd bring that up. Don't know if you saw that. 1-800-919-3776. Javier in Port St. Lucie. Javier, talk to me.
Oh, hope all is well. Hey, Michael, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you great. What's up, man?
Okay, awesome, man. Hey, normally when I call in and we speak and we have a few discussions, we're not normally aligned, and that's not a fault of yours. It's more just how passionate that I am with certain things, and I just wanted to bring up a few points that I think is vital.
Okay.
Starting with sometimes you bring up this is one of your quotes, and I'm paraphrasing, but you say that sports in itself is a copycat league or a copycat sport, and I'm looking over the weekend. I saw the Washington Nationals, I saw the Red Sox on Saturday, and then I saw the Rays over the weekend. And one thing that was relevant for sure, they were taking a small ball approach. And before you kill me or before you make a comment in regards to it, because I know that the Yankees are right now not cut that way as we speak. But my question is this. If you notice with every sport, there's a shift change. In the 90s, we were able to see in the NBA centers dominant. And then in the 2000s, that shift changed to hybrid players that were more two-way dominant. So you have players that could hit a jump shot like Kobe Bryant, and you rest in peace. And you see SGA, you see Kevin Durant. My point is, I don't think the Yankees are going to solve this issue until we get a bona fide leadoff hitter like the way the Rays have. I don't think we're going to continue to prosper until we play that kind of baseball. I know it's about launch angles. I know it's about, hitting velocity, et cetera. But if you notice that these teams are doing that at a high level and they're winning these games, why aren't the Yankees in the farm system, or why isn't it that we're copying that approach? That's the problem that I have.
Well, I mean, but Javier, the Nationals aren't going to do anything this year, and they're doing this because out of necessity. They don't have big bangers on the team. The same thing with Tampa Bay. The Red Sox, in the projections that all the sites did, they have the top home run hitter on the Red Sox projected to hit 18 home runs. So they better make contact. If you're going to be a home run hitting team, you're going to strike out a lot. The Dodgers are a home run hitting team. They strike out a lot. And they've won 2 championships in a row. You want to copy the Rays and the Nationals? I don't get it. Now, the Rays beat the Yankees because they did all the little things right, and the Yankees did everything that they could possibly do wrong, and they're not hitting. But the Rays do that out of necessity. They don't have big bangers. Same thing with the Nationals and the same thing with the Red Sox. Red Sox are not a home run hitting team. They're not built that way. They're built around pitching. Most teams that win in baseball win with home runs. It's hard to hit, man. It's hard to hit. So since it's hard to hit and everybody comes out of the bullpen throwing 98 miles an hour, it's hard to string together 3 singles. It's more likely that you get a walk, you get on an error, and somebody runs into one for a 3-run home run. That's the way the game is played now. But, I mean, you want to copy teams like the Rays and the Nationals? Javier, I don't know what to tell you. Let's go to Jack in New Jersey. Jack.
Hey, Mike. You know, we're talking about something that'll help with the tanking. I think the people you've really got to incentivize are the owners. And how about if you don't make the playoffs or the play-in, you've got to cut your ticket prices by 5% the next season.
You know what? I don't think the owners are in on this, Jack. I think you've got to incentivize the GMs and the coaches. And, you know, let's look at the Knicks. When the Knicks don't make the playoffs, they don't raise their ticket prices. And if you want to stop the load management, right, what you should do, barring a serious injury where the guy is not going to play for 5 straight games, if there are 2 stars on your team that you're resting the same day because of load management, you've got to cut your ticket prices for that day. Now, sometimes they will rest them on the road. I don't know what you do with that, but you force the other team. Like if the Lakers come into town and LeBron's resting and Luka is resting, there has to be some monetary refund. There has to be. Unless you hit them in the wallet. And hitting them in the wallet isn't always the reason either, because they fined Utah $500,000 for their obvious tanking in a game where they took out their starters in the fourth quarter so that they could lose. And you know what? They didn't blink. It's got to be more. It's got to be millions and millions of dollars. So if you take millions and millions of dollars from the owners, then the owners will tell the GM and the coaches, all right, enough of this nonsense. And you got to take some of the power away from the health and science people. They should not be running the team. And you got to take all power away from the agents. Agents should not be in a position to call a GM and say, I don't want my guy playing today. No, that's not sports. And it's not fair to the paying customer, and it's not fair to the networks that bid all this money to get the broadcast rights to the NBA. Now, it's all going to be hunky-dory starting tomorrow when the play-ins begin, and then when the Knicks and the Hawks, because obviously they play everybody then. But they have devalued and cheapened and made the regular season in the NBA an absolute laughingstock. It's a laughingstock. The games don't mean anything. You don't even have to be that good to be one of the top 10 teams in your conference. You just don't. Let's go to Ray in Westchester. Ray.
Hey, Mike. First-time caller.
Welcome aboard, Ray.
A little nervous.
Oh, don't be.
Thank you. Been listening for a long time. You are the best.
Oh, thank you, man.
I like your NBA tanking policy. Did you ever think possibly some team at the 5 or 6 seed at the end of the season might tank a little bit to get into the play-in, saying we'll win the play-in, we'll get the number 1 pick. We don't care who we play in the playoffs.
That's a great point. That I never thought about that as a fly in the ointment. But teams that are in the top 6, they probably think they have a chance to win. But you make up a great point. If they drop to 7, right, and then the 7th seed goes to 6. But the thing that it would stop, Ray, it's a great point. But the thing would stop, I don't want tanking all year. Like what the Nets did to me is reprehensible. What Utah did. What Indiana did. What Washington did. I mean, Washington didn't play 2 great players that they acquired. They tanked from the very beginning of the season. You cheapened an 82-game slate. I could almost live, like I've talked about this before, there's no tanking in the NFL, but there is tanking like in the last 3 or 4 games of the year if you're terrible, if you're 0-13 and another team's 0-13, you're going to make sure that you go to 0-17 so you get that number 1 pick. I can live with that. I can't live with completely obliterating an entire season of a franchise's history in order to hope and pray that the ping pong ball goes your way. Maybe you have to incentivize the team that finishes 6th, that there's money in it as well for the players. But, you know, again, I don't have an answer for that one. I don't have an answer for that one. But at least it would guarantee that teams aren't tanking the whole year. That's all I'm asking for. If some team wants to, risk their playoff run where they lose, 2 games in the play and then they're out, then they got onions, as Bill Raftery would say. But the teams that lose from the very beginning of the season, like the Nets with no intent to win, that's not onions. And then you have to sit there on ping pong day and just say, I hope the ping pong ball bounces our way. Terrible for the sport. Terrible. Let's go to Eric in Long Island. Eric.
Hey, Mike, how you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Good. So a couple things. So with the tanking thing, I'm with you on the, how you shouldn't be tanking a season. It's absurd. Maybe one thing they could do, I don't know if you mentioned this, maybe you just did or didn't, but maybe you can actually add, the team with the worst record has however many ping pong balls, right? But maybe then the first and second play-in teams actually have almost the same amount of ping pong balls, so that if you're kind of caught in the middle there, you could try to push to be a play-in team as opposed to tanking, So maybe the play-in teams can have almost just as much a chance as the worst team to get.
I don't hate it.
Number one.
I don't hate it. Because Eric, I need forward thinking. I need originality. I don't hear that in what's being leaked out. What the NBA might do. Well, you can only have a top 3 pick. You can't have it 2 years in a row. Oh, okay. So then a team's going to tank for 1 year. You're not eliminating that team from tanking. If there's a great player coming out in the college draft, there are going to be teams that will lose on purpose to get the number 1 pick. They will lose on purpose. You've got to eliminate the incentive to lose on purpose. So if you have the worst record, there's no way you're getting the first pick. And if you give the first pick to the play-in teams, then there is incentive to play. There is incentive to win games. And there's disincentive to finish out of the play-in, because the best you could do is the 9th pick in the draft. That's the best. But I don't think they're going to do something that drastic. They think that the fines – I'll tell you what. You can only fine people so much, because Adam Silver has power. But remember, if he tries to start fining owners like $10 million, he'll lose his job because he works for the owners. But if you fine a team $5 million, like the Utah Jazz, right? And the Utah Jazz say, if I tank this year and I get fined $5 million and I still could get the pick, I'll pay $5 million for the pick. That's how valuable the picks are. That's why I don't think that that's a good reason. Now, the best thing you could do, if you see a team tanking on purpose, they lose their draft pick. That's onions. That's got some heft to it. That will stop people from losing on purpose. If you have the NBA making the decision, you know what, Brooklyn, you lost these games on purpose. You did not field a representative team. You lose your first-round draft pick. Bam! All of a sudden, it wouldn't happen. And the thing that I don't get about Brooklyn, if you've ever gone to a Nets game, it's highly entertaining. The arena is great. They put on a nice production. The food is outstanding. Everything about it. And they sell most of their seats. They really do. And the product was dreck. It was awful this year. And most of the games were sold out. And they might get the number 1 draft pick. So what's the disincentive for what the Nets did? It's not like the fans froze them out. The fans still paid top dollar to go to Barclays Center. And they still might get the best player in the college draft. So you tell Sean Marks he did the wrong thing. Because he's probably saying, well, I could have patched together a team that might have gotten the play-in, but we'd have no chance, to go far. I'll just go this route. We'll still sell out the whole game, every game at Barclays, and I got a chance to get the number 1, 2, or 3 pick. Most times they're going to do it. That's why the penalties have to be draconian. They have to be so suffocating that no team thinks about doing it. And the load management and the tanking, it's awful, it's awful, it's awful. The best thing about sports is the competition that everybody's trying to win. That's why Artie Moreno, whose team is in tonight to play the Yankees, when he said, we did a survey of fans and, winning is 5th on the list of what they want. They want affordability. That's nonsense and it's a lie. It's a lie. People want their teams to win. So let's say you had an affordable experience at a stadium and the team lost all the time. Why would you go? You're going to see a terrible team and the prices are cheap. I'd rather go see the Savannah Bananas. Entertain me. If a team's really bad, they're not entertaining you. The Nets were not entertaining this year. They just weren't. Right now, new FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get $250 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. That's right. Turn $5 into $250 in bonus bets just for getting started. And when every possession matters in the playoffs, FanDuel makes it easy to get closer to the action. From player props on your favorite stars to all the tools that you need to back them up. FanDuel puts player research right at your fingertips so you can check stats, trends, and matchups all in one place and make your picks with confidence. It's everything you need all in one app. So don't miss your shot. Head to FanDuel.com/local to get started. FanDuel, play your game. 21 plus and physically present in New York. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with a gambling problem, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
Listen, I know the mentality. You try to play through pain and walk it off. Push through one more day. But when it comes to neck pain, back pain, sciatica, or nerve pain, that's a losing game. That's when you call Dr. J. Shaw at Sandwell Pain. Dr. Shaw is one of New Jersey's top pain specialists, Ivy League trained, double board certified, and he focuses on non-surgical solutions that get real results. No cuts, no downtime, no dependence on pain meds. He builds you a custom game plan for you so that you can move better, feel better, and live pain-free. Same day or next day appointments are available. Visit SandwellPain.com. Stop managing pain. Start beating it.
The New York City Department of Correction offers countless career opportunities, from specialized units to leadership roles that support public safety and change lives for the better. It starts with one step: registering for the New York City Correction Officer exam. Earn over $109,000 after just 5.5 years. Benefits on day one, job security, pension at any age after 22 years of service. Go to nyc.gov/joinDOC or search Join DOC. One career, many opportunities. Register today to take the test.
If you've been injured on a construction site, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique labor laws. At the Parisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling construction accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for hardworking New Yorkers. From scaffold accidents to slip and falls and equipment failures, they've got your back. Call the Parisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS. That's right, 718-WORKERS, because your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.
Hey, New York and New Jersey, Boost Mobile has an unlimited talk, text, and data plan that's only $25 a month forever, meaning you'll only ever pay $25 a month for the rest of your life. Who wouldn't want unlimited wireless when it only costs $25 a month forever? If you don't, you must be one of those people who enjoy overpaying for their phone plan. $25 a month forever is truly as good as it gets, so go online and switch now at boostmobile.com. After 30 gigabytes, customers may experience slower speeds. Customers will pay $25 a month as long as they remain active on the Boost Mobile Unlimited plan.
Monkey Sports, built by players for players, is your one-stop shop for hockey, baseball, lacrosse, and more. Find top-name equipment and expert in-store services like sharpening, break-ins, and relacing. Shop in-store at Monkey Sports in Farmingdale or Woodbridge, or online for all the top brands. Whatever your sports, Monkey Sports gets you game ready fast. Monkey Sports, where athletes shop.
Hi, this is Don LaGreca. Just like the New Jersey Devils protect their home ice, Viking Pest Control protects your home. And I know because I use Viking at my own place. As the pest control provider and proud partner in the New Jersey Devils, Viking brings 45 years of trusted experience and expert service to keep ants, cockroaches, stinging insects, rodents, and even mosquitoes out of your zone. Their local team builds a personalized game plan that actually works. And when you bundle pest control and mosquito services, you score big savings. One call, one company, total peace of mind. Visit VikingPest.com. Protecting your home inside and out.
This is Rick Brunson, the assistant coach from the New York Knicks. I'll be driving to our games this season in style in my new Jeep Gladiator from Princeton Jeep. My friends at Princeton Jeep gave me all-star treatment, and you can expect the same thing. Just mention I sent you, and they'll treat you like family. Princeton Jeep has tons of inventory and great deals on new vehicles. Visit Princeton Jeep at 1045 State Road in Princeton, New Jersey, or online at PrincetonJeeps.com and tell them Rick Brunson sent you.
Evan Cohen here. You know the feeling when a candidate just stands out. Not just their resume, but their energy. They're eager, engaged, and you know they want the role. That makes a difference. If you're hiring, you want a candidate who's passionate, but you can't get that insight from a resume unless you post your job on ZipRecruiter. Their matching technology finds qualified candidates fast, and ZipRecruiter has a new feature that shows you the most interested qualified candidates first. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/sports. That's ZipRecruiter.com/sports. Evan Cohen here. In life, as in sports, the pros make it look easy. That's why pro golfers like Jason Day, Ben Griffin, and Patton Kazire trust the pros in lawn care. True Green. They have the experience and expertise to give you a lawn worthy of the PGA Tour. And since True Green does the work for you, you get more free time, or more tee times. So stop stressing over your lawn and start loving it. Sign up now at TrueGreen.com because nobody makes it easier to get a golf course quality lawn than True Green, the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour.
Join DiPietro and Rothenberg Thursday, April 23rd for a special couch cast of Round 1 of the NFL Draft, presented by Calandra's Bakery. The Jets and Giants have 3 picks in the top 16, and Rick and Dave will react live as the first round unfolds. From the big decisions to the big-time drama. Catch it all in this YouTube-only exclusive, and it's all from Calandra's Bakery and your home for football talk. ESPN New York.
So Kevin O'Connor, who covers the NBA for Yahoo, talked about some of the things that was discussed in the NBA GM meetings. One person suggested to make the bottom 3 teams ineligible for the top picks entirely. That I like. But the league, according to sources of Kevin, found this to be way too extreme. Then another person on the call offered a softer version of the same concept. What if the bottom 3 teams just had slightly lower odds than the teams ranked 4 through 10? Not 0, just a little less. Silver supposedly liked that. The 18-team, 8% odds for the top 10 concept is simply still just the concept. The specifics are going to change when the league votes on late May. They seem to think that people wouldn't lose on purpose to get out of the bottom 3. But you're still incentivizing people to lose because you're still going to get a lottery pick if you're the 4th worst team. So that means you'll lose all year, and then like in the last month of the season, you'll start playing your regular players, and you'll pick up some wins so you get to the 4th seed, the 4th worst seed. I don't know if there's that's the problem. I don't know if there's a perfect solution, but it has to be draconian. And even if you eliminate the 3 teams that lose the most, that's too bad. Don't lose the most games. Congratulations to Rory McIlroy. This is a test for all those that want to give up on people that don't win the big one. Rory McIlroy, 17 years without winning the Masters, has now won the last 2. So it can happen. Now, you also know from listening to me for all these years that I'm somewhat vindictive. So Doc Rivers was signed to a great contract to be on the lead NBA team. And after a couple of months of it, NBA broadcasting team, he took the Milwaukee Bucks job and left ESPN in the lurch. So now Doc is not going to be coaching the Bucks. He's stepping away, whether it's fired or not, whatever, working in the front office. My advice to ESPN, don't even think about taking him back. Don't even think about taking him back. After what he did to you, there's no way. Let Amazon have him. Let NBC have him. Don't go near him. There has to be some kind of payback when somebody leaves you in the lurch like that. When you get put on the lead team, broadcast team that's going to broadcast the NBA Finals, and you leave after signing your contract because you got a better deal to coach the Bucks, and I'm not saying Doc Rivers is wrong. You can't accept them back with open arms. You got to be vindictive. You just got to be vindictive. That's how I roll. I don't know how they're going to roll. Let's go to Jimmy in Montclair. Jimmy.
Hey, hell of a show today. Thanks. Michael, loved it. First few callers got to lay off the Bubanj over exaggerating with the Yankees. I'm a huge diehard baseball fan, but I root for the Mets. But come on, it's way too early for either people in the Bronx or Queens to be panicking. They got to, as an old friend of ours said, RELAX, relax.
I agree. And the people that panic, Jim, listen, I understand being a fan, and there are ups and downs, and you can't feel great if you're a Yankee fan after what you saw the last 5 games, and you can't feel great if you're a Met fan if you saw the last 5 games. But these aren't the last 5 games of the year. Now, Met fans could have felt awful when they lost that game to the Marlins and they lost out in the playoffs. Then you have the whole season, the offseason, to ruminate on how awful that is not to make the playoffs with that payroll and with Juan Soto. That I get. But after 15 games, and in the Mets' case at 16, it doesn't make sense to panic. There's so much baseball left. There's a trade deadline still to come. It's a deep breath sort of time. But you could be angry. You could be angry that McMahon's not hitting. You could be angry that Boone didn't use Goldschmidt in 2 pinch hitting appearances. You could be angry. Each game allows you to be angry because that's what fandom is, to let your emotions out. But when you let those emotions take over and go, like the one of the first callers, you gotta bench Grisham. What? First of all, he is getting on base a lot more than you would think and hasn't hit a home run yet. But after 15 games, you're giving up. And that's why I told that caller, I think his name might have been Eric, maybe. You don't know baseball. If you're willing to make these drastic moves after 15 or 16 games, then you don't know what the sport's about. This is a slow-moving sport. It's a long, long time. It's a marathon. This is not a sprint sport. It's a marathon. The talent will win out. If they've made mistakes putting their team together, we'll see over a long period of time, not over 3 weeks. Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg have a great show coming up. I've been hearing good things about it. You got to stay tuned on that. You know the number. If you want to talk to them, 1-800-919-3776. I'm going to talk to you again tomorrow at 1, heading to the stadium right now as the Yankees try to break their 5-game losing streak against the Angels, and the Mets are out west, and they'll try to break their 5-game losing streak against the Dodgers, and you could hear the Mets tonight on 880, and you could watch the Yankees tonight on the Yes Network. In the words of Billy Joel, life is a series of hellos and goodbyes. I'm afraid it's time for goodbye again. See everybody. Have a wonderful day.
Wow, that's a lot of distractions. Why don't you just focus on the road?
Relax, I'm a great driver.
What about other drivers? Not everyone's a great driver.
I can watch out for them. I'll be fine.
Watch out!